There we go. Finally, I went live trying a different format. So, normally I play games, but instead, I'm going to try reading some Reddit stories for like an hour. I'm going to try for an hour. We'll see. It's called the Reddit Hour, but I also said 7-ish p.m. and it's 7:40 p.m. now. So, uh, give it a try. I have two cameras now. Two cameras, yes. Um, Obviously, one's a little bit up. However, I can have fun with this one. I can actually move it around, do stuff with it. So you can see all kinds of crazy, stupid shit now. You know, you can actually like look at what my keyboard looks like. You can see everybody over here. Oh, it's doing like a weird mirror thing. I didn't even realize it. I did not even realize that it was doing a mirror thing. I guess I should have. I mean, I'm looking down and to the left, and so is that one, and I'm like, that's not right. Looking down at me, looking down at me. And then if I look up at that, oh yeah, it's pointing. It points up. Oh yeah, you point down, you point up. Anyway, sorry. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun with the cameras. I've also got my lapel mic. Heat from fire, fire from heat. I have my little lapel mic that I can speak ever so softly into if I so desire. But hopefully that's loud enough for everybody to hear. Might actually be kind of echoey in here because I don't have any of my foam things put up. Anyway, I figure I'm just gonna go off of my homepage for this first time doing the Reddit Hour. I don't know why I keep looking over there. I guess I'm used to if the chat shows up, I'm gonna be looking over there. But I'm also used to having the just that camera. Like this camera is new. It's actually my roommate's letting me use it, so super helpful. Super, I love her. She's awesome. But I'm used to looking over here to talk to the camera, to talk to chat and everything like that. To talk to chat and everything like that. But this is what we got right now. I am also going to do a thing where's the settings? I just want to increase like the size of everything basically. Trying to remember how Opera works with that. Sidebar, history. Oh my goodness. Hello. Thanks for stopping by. I am trying to get this going. Where is it? Where is it? Nope. That's not what I need. I'm still figuring things out. My God. Get professional, Eden. Come on. This? Oh yeah, force the dark mode on pages for sure. I don't want that, and I don't want that, and I don't want that. Okay, but what I was really looking for... Oh my. I was just trying to go for... Yeah, I guess basic. I just wanted to be able to read things. I just wanted bigger... I wanted bigger, better stuff so people can read it. Do I need to just like right click? That's probably all I needed to do. Where's the zoom? Zoom, zoom, zoom. Really? Add to speed now, add to bookmarks. Enter full screen, copy address, save as PDF. Print cast, page source. I'm seriously just trying to figure out how to make everything get bigger. Zoom in. I just want to zoom in. That's all I'm trying to do, Opera. Is it? No, that's search. That's a new tab. I just want to zoom in on my text. I want bigger text. Maybe I need to do it in whatever. I should just move on. Okay. Well, first one on here is today I learned about the inventor of Ring. Jamie Siminoff, inventor of Ring, was rejected by the sharks in ABC Shark Tank. 5 years later, he appeared on the show as a guest shark after selling Ring to Amazon for $1.2 billion. Okay. I don't care. Don't care about that one. r/memes, when your custom character appears in a cinematic scene. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at it. Let's look at this meme. Oh no, it's been removed by the moderator. Oh, no reposts. Oh well. We go back. Okay. I am not doing anything with OpenAI, so let's take a look at r/comics. Oh wait, no. r/wholesome memes. Because making people laugh is the best feeling. Let's take a look. When you tell a good joke and everyone laughs and it make you feel good. Yeah, that's wholesome. I like it. It's good. I recommend. Yeah. Wholesome. Very good. Does anybody know how to frickin' make this page just bigger so that, like, you scrolling can actually see this, like, way better? Because, my goodness, this has to be bigger. I have to be able to make this bigger in some way. Maybe it's a thing up here. Up here? Man, there's gotta be a zoom. How do I zoom? How do I make it bigger so you can see it? Am I really gonna have to just search? I guess I'm gonna have to search. Okay. How make text bigger? Opera. Yep. Gotta figure. I don't want to use the AI overview, so let's see. We'll look at the forums. Any option change font size? Overconfig doesn't seem to work anymore. Let's take a look. We're doing some troubleshooting. I want to make this bigger so that y'all can actually read it too. Thank you for stopping by for however long you stopped by for. I am trying to make the Reddit work. Yeah, okay, wow, that was 20. This is a 2014? 2014 from Opera. Wow, okay. Come on. Is there really, are we talking about, can we really not? This is an old forum. Okay, so it wouldn't even really work in what I'm looking for. Increase, decrease text size on Opera Mobile, on Opera Browser. Okay, let's take a look at this video. Maybe it'll help me. It's muted? Good. I don't want it to be. Okay, sure, yeah, you're showing me. Okay. I know I can't hear you right now because I don't want there to be any kind of like, oh, you just reproduced somebody else's stuff, so that's good. Okay, but can you actually start clicking on things? Click on things. Okay. Up over here. Oh my god, am I really just that stupid? I think I might be that stupid. Chat. I think I'm that stupid. Coming down to appearance. Oh my god. Of course it is. Just come up here. Oh my goodness, and then go to settings. Oh my god. thought oh, was it features? It might have been. No, it wasn't features. It was basic, wasn't it? And I just didn't. I think I just didn't. Yep, yep, yep. I was just dumb. I was just this. This is literally what I was looking for too long. Too long. Too long. We're at 100 now. Let's see what 200 looks like. Okay. Okay, let's go take a look over at home. That's a little bit better. A little bit better zoom. Okay, hold on. Whoop, 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 whoop. Not worried about font size anymore. We're just doing the page zoom. Do page zoom 300. Okay. Ah. That's better. That's better. There we go. This is way more clear. Oh. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. See, then if I click on it, it's just... Oh, what? Okay. Wholesome memes. Yes, okay. You can go away. Okay. Go back. All right. Now you guys can actually read it too. Oh, bam. Nice. Super legible. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Are you loving it? Because I'm loving it. All right, I can leave those settings there. I'm just going to exit that. And here we go. Okay, so there was wholesome memes. How about we do Am I the Asshole? Finally, I'm just, like I said, I'm just scrolling down. This is a new format. I'm trying a new format for fun for a little bit. Read some fucking Reddit stuff. So I'm going off of my homepage and scrolling down, and hopefully we don't come across anything too risque. This is my homepage. So let's go with Am I the Asshole? Why not? That's an easy well. Everybody can go to that. Am I the asshole for refusing to leave my job so I could take care of my disabled brother? So no context, just going off of that right there. Refusing to leave my job so I could take care of my disabled brother. The no context read off of that, you might be. You might be, but it's also like, would you be able to take care of your disabled brother without a job? Maybe. Let's take a look. All right. Oh, 22 female too. Oh, of course, we're going to put it on the woman. I'm 22 female, fresh out of college with a marketing degree. My younger brother, Alex, 19, has Down syndrome. Fuck. He's verbal, funny, obsessed with superheroes and puzzles, but needs support with daily routines, social interactions, and like medication stuff for his heart condition, hyperheart, right? And of course, like supervision to avoid impulsive behaviors. Yep, because I mean, that is Down syndrome. He attends a day program for young adults with disabilities and lives at home. Parents, mom 48, dad 50, both work. Mom part-time retail, dad in logistics. Okay. Trucking. From middle school and on, not necessarily trucking, that was a joke. Sorry. From middle school and on, I was Alex's main helper, so you got parentified. I'm sorry that happened to you. Like after school pickups, homework, meds, meltdowns, bedtime stories. Whew, my older sister, 25, moved out early and was rarely asked to help him. She's busy with her career. I skipped clubs, parties, even frats, because Alex trusts you most. He calms down faster with you. Yeah, by my parents. I still graduated on time, landed my dream entry-level job at a high-end tech firm. Starts next month, 65K, great benefits, cool. That's better than what I got. My parents congratulated me until Alex's day program cut hours due to funding issues. No spots in alternatives for a long time, and private aides cost $35 an hour. They claim they can't afford it. They 10,000% can. Interesting. So at the family lunch last week, they cornered me. Alex's program is ending soon, they said. We need you to quit the job and stay home to watch him during days because you're the only one he truly listens to. It's just temporary family duty and you need to take care of your brother. Oh my gosh. I was shocked. The job is my foot in the door. Deferring means losing it. Restarting applications, maybe relocating. I've waited years for this independence. I took care of my brother for a long time, and this job meant everything to me, living my life again. They brushed it off. Jobs come and go. Alex didn't choose this. You've always been amazing with him. We can't risk a stranger messing up his routine, etc. Then I asked why my sister couldn't help, or why they couldn't adjust shifts or use savings. My mom teared up. She's got her own life now. We've given up so much. It's your turn to step up for your brother. But I was already taking care of him fully. Then I said, no, I've already signed the offer, bought work clothes, and planned my commute. This is my future, and I don't want to miss it. Dad got mad. So you're picking a paycheck over your disabled brother's well-being? Oh, I hate it. Because it's also like a fucked up situation, right? Like, nobody asked, one, nobody asked to be having have Down syndrome, but like nobody asked to have to take care of somebody like this, except technically the parents did by having a kid. You took the risk, you have to take responsibility, and you can't just push it onto your kids. Um, yeah, that's some fucking manipulation right there. Like, what kind of sister are you? I packed my things that night and moved in with a friend after a while because it was intense. Parents told the family I'm ditching Alex for some fancy job. Relatives call me selfish. A few months won't ruin your career, but lack of care could devastate him. I genuinely love my brother. He has disabilities, but he is the kindest brother that anybody can wish for. I really care about him, but I feel like I did everything in my power to be there for him. Please be honest, am I the asshole? Okay, so I'm going to say, after having read that, now haven't read any comments, haven't read any updates or anything, if there are any. I doubt it. I think this is new. Um, no, not the asshole. Like, you said up here that since like middle school, I mean, like the formatting on this does suck, but whatever. You did say you're 22, fresh out of college with a marketing degree. Um, and that you've been taking care of him since like middle school, right? Yeah, from middle school and on, I was Alex's main helper. Middle school. So, like, what, sixth, seventh grade? So you're like 12 or 13. So you're just also just starting fucking going through puberty and everything. And then also you're expected to just like take care of this guy. Like, I mean, like, I know he's your brother. I know he's your brother, and that's also why it sucks. Like, obviously you love your brother and you want to be there for him. um but like at the end of the day, you have a life that you have to live, and with the timing of everything, when they say you can delay, like, it's kind of, I don't know, it feels messed up that it's okay if you delay. But like, I mean, your sister didn't have to delay. She's off doing her thing, right? Where was it? Da, 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 da. Older sister moved out early, was rarely asked to help him. She's busy with her career. Why can't you get to be busy with your career? And they just have to help him. It's really this cop out just to say, like, oh, well, he's good with you and he trusts you, and it's like, no, you're his parents. All right, fucking step up. Not the asshole. Let's see some of the comments. This is mod. Oh, that's the mod. Okay. There we are. So, okay, I admit I didn't read all this because it's a wall of text. Please consider breaking it up. Not the asshole. You are not obligated to be your brother's full-time caretaker. We only get one life. You need to live yours. Take the job, move out, and live your life. That doesn't mean don't spend time with your brother, but you need to prioritize your life first. Exactly what I'm saying. Your parents are calling you selfish because they are used to being able to just dump things on you, and you do it. And now is the time for that to stop. Exactly. Anything to say, I bet if you asked your brother, he'd want you to be happy in life, and that means taking this job and setting yourself up for a good future. Yeah, anytime a relative gives her a hard time, OP needs to tell them that they can talk when they quit their job to look after the brother. She was parentified to a ridiculous degree, now she deserves to live her 20s. Yep, and she also needs to do it now. Even though the family said it would be temporary, it won't be. It'll be forever. Even if they did let her go 5 years on, now she has to go out there with a 5-year gap in her resume, compete against others who don't have an employment gap, and missed out on 5 years of career learning, pay raises, overall advancement, would leave her years behind. Yes, exactly. And they'll still need her. It'll never end. Yeah. So, no, not the asshole, I will say. All right. So, my judgment, not the asshole. This was 7 hours ago, so obviously no consensus spot yet. So why not? Why not? It's the good one, right? Let's go by. Let's sort by hot. Hot asshole. We're gonna. God damn it! All right, yep. We're looking at hot asshole. Okay, so yeah, we just looked at that one. Next one. Am I the asshole for telling my husband he's made me reconsider leaving him alone with the kids in the future? Oh my. So, let's see. Hi, I wanted to get an opinion of whether I was in the wrong here. It was my niece's wedding this weekend. She's my oldest niece, the first among her cousins to get married, and I'm very close to her. There were also some events happening last weekend. So I had taken the last week off from work and flew to hers the weekend before. My husband and the kids, 12-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son, were supposed to fly in on Friday for the main event. Before I left, I had prepared enough food for them to last a while. The stuff they were planning on eating first, I put in the fridge, other dishes in the freezer. All they had to do was let it thaw, put it in the pan, stick it in the pot, add some water, heat it, blah, blah, blah. I even marinated some chicken separately for them to cook in the oven. Okay, that's nice because especially like the longer they leave it in there, it's gonna be tasty. Um, where was I? Chicken to cook in the oven. For their school lunch, I had told my husband what had to be made for them, that it would take 20 minutes in the morning, so to factor that in, and he said he understood. I think I see where this might be going. I think Bourbon Bougie might be wanting to hear about this. Now this is my fault too. But for the first 2 days, I made sure to ask during my conversations with them if the food situation was fine, but hadn't brought it up later. Plus, all the events we were having distracted me too. You shouldn't need to check in every day to see if they're keeping up eating food. You prepped food. You told them how you prepped the food. Also, it makes sense. Stuff in the fridge, use it first, then use the stuff in the freezer. Like, you also did all of this for your husband. Like, you did a lot of thinking already ahead of time. You did a lot of invisible labor. You know how it goes. But now and then you're saying like this is my fault too. But it's really not. Is he a man? Can he feed himself? Can he feed others? Seriously. My God. All right. When they flew in, I asked if it had all gone well, if the food had run out, and he said no, there was more than enough, which made me feel better. But when we got home yesterday, there was way more food left than I thought. I brought it up and found out that even thawing and heating the food was too much to do after the initial refrigerated dishes, and they defaulted to eating out. And he'd been giving them lunch money instead of homemade lunch. Is it really that difficult? Can you really not? I mean, like, is there something neurological that is interfering? Like, I know people can jump to that real quick and real easy, but like, if it's not, then you just don't. You're just being like, I just don't feel like it. You know what? It's just easier to use money instead of the labor that was already done for you. It was already done for you, dude. Take thing out of freezer, put it in fridge, and it thaws. Shit, you could take it out of the freezer and stick it in the microwave, and it'll fucking come out. Anyway, I was so annoyed. I told him I was disappointed in him, that I'd have to now think twice before ever leaving him alone with the kids again. He got heated too, said I wasn't giving him his due credit for taking care of the kids. They were happy with what he was doing, and that should be it, that the kids were safe and sound, and there had been no emergencies. And it was messed up for me to say I didn't trust him with the kids. We'd been curt with each other in the morning today. Am I the a-hole? Edit, just want to add, we had discussed what I should leave for them before I started cooking. I asked the kids what they want, discussed it with him. He'd asked me to make his favorite meal, which was the one they ate first. Also, yes, I do work. I'm a dentist and have my own practice. Oh my god. If both of you work, then both of you should be able to cook. And both of you should be able to clean up, that kind of thing. Both of you should be able to know what to do with frozen food. Obviously you do. He doesn't. Like, it's like, okay, this feels a little bit more like an am I overreacting post, I'll be honest, because it's talking about like, I told him I was disappointed in him, and now I have to think twice before ever leaving him alone with the kids again. To be fair, he did still take care of the kids. He did still feed them. They went eating out. He gave them lunch money instead of homemade lunch. He did still make sure that they were fed. Like, there's that. So the whole leaving him alone with the kid, I don't know, like, that feels like an overreaction. Telling him you're disappointed in him does not feel like an overreaction. And it's not necessarily an asshole thing to say. But, like, again, like, this kind of feels a little bit more like an am I overreacting rather than am I the asshole? You know what I mean? Oh no. Oh, thank God you went away. That was a close one, y'all. Alright. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, let's see what some people have said. There's the am I the asshole? Bop bop bop. Okay. So, certified proctologist. He got exactly what he wanted. He pretended he was too incompetent to even thaw and heat up food that was already prepared. His reward is now that you'll never ask him to take care of his own children again. This can't possibly be the only time he's acted utterly helpless in order to get you to do anything and everything he doesn't want to do. You don't have a husband, you have a third child. NTA. Again, like, this feels like it's really more formatted as an am I overreacting post rather than am I the asshole post. The issue is not that somebody got hurt or that food got wasted, which it didn't. Nobody got hurt and no food got wasted. It's that a grown-ass adult is saying that thawing and reheating food somebody else had already made was too much for him. Yes, For one thing, that's bullshit. Eating out is considerably more work than thawing and reheating a meal. I mean, kinda, yeah. For another, it's pathetic and disrespectful of peacetime. Sure, these things are totally relevant. She did a sizable amount of work prepping all their meals ahead of time, and he has the gall to act as if reheating someone else's work is too much. Yeah, agreed. That's fucked. Like, I agree that that's fucked. But to say this phrase of I now have to think twice before ever leaving him alone with the kids again. Yeah, like he's kind of right with this phrase where he's like, I mean, he did take care of the kids. That is true. But like that's not really what's I it's not truly what's at issue here is that you were annoyed and disappointed that he didn't eat the food that you made. I get it. Especially if you were trying to save money by doing that. Or you know what, you're just trying to show that you love your family by doing that. And that's I think what lies at the crux of this reaction, this whole issue. Is that it's not about whether he could be left alone with the kids. Of course he can be left alone with the kids. He fed them, they were fine. They were fine. The kids were fine. What's yeah, it's like it's this is that it's disrespectful of the OP's time, and you are upset by that, and that is totally fucking fair. Like I get it. It makes sense. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back to home. Okay. Oh, that one sounds good. Am I the asshole for locking up my stuff so my wife will not touch it? Doesn't even want him to touch it. Not even a little bit. Just a little touch. No, not allowed. You can't be touching it even a little bit. Okay. Am I the asshole for locking up my stuff so my wife will not touch it? I like to 3D print and paint miniatures. Stop. No, you're not the asshole. If you are locking up your fucking like your crafts so that somebody's not touching it, that tells me that somebody's touching it. I haven't even started reading it yet. That tells me somebody's touching it when they shouldn't be touching it. So lock it up, not the asshole. Because that's my prejudgment before we really get into reading it. Okay. I like to 3D print and paint miniatures. I have a whole work area downstairs with a lot of tools and art supplies. My wife also likes to art and crafts and will sometimes take my stuff. Oh no. Oh no, this is a problem. She has ADHD and never puts my supplies back. Oh no! I have found my expensive paint literally in the bathroom before. She's used my airbrush before and just left without cleaning it out. Oh no, I spent hours getting it to work again because the paint hardened. Oh, oh, poor child. Okay. I've talked to her multiple times to put things back, and she claims she will and then never does. And one of the reasons she grabs my stuff is because she never knows where her art crap is. Oh, gosh. Oh, this sounds like this might need some therapy. I'm sick of not having my stuff where it's supposed to be. I can deal with shared items being in weird places, just not this. Talking to her has never fixed the issue. Neither has asking her to not use my art stuff. I put a lock on the cabinet where my art supplies is. When she saw it, she was pissed, and we got into an argument. She's mad I'm locking her out of stuff in our shared home. My point was everything above. Oh, I mean, it's one of those things where like it's the consequence of, you know, the consequences of your actions. Like you having ADHD is one thing, but also you need to recognize like that you have to put forth effort to counter it. in order to live in harmony with some other people. Which I guess kind of sounds like a fancy way of saying masking, but that's not really like this is about respecting other people's stuff. This isn't about like behave so that we don't notice you. This is just like you are literally using my things and then putting them in places and not taking care of them. You're using my things and not taking care of them, so I'm going to lock them up. So not the asshole. Okay. Yep, the issue is that she can't or won't take care of expensive equipment and materials. That's all there is to it. You did nothing wrong, not the asshole. Wife is probably angry because she must feel attacked, but I would do the same. If you're married, it's because you know her and you haven't really done anything wrong, not the asshole. I would be the wife in this situation and I would also feel attacked. But then I wouldn't get into this situation because I recognize my brain does the funky donkey, so I take loads of extra precautions when using other people's stuff. ADHD is an excuse for it to happen once or every once in a while, maybe. If it happens regularly, it's because she just doesn't respect OP or his stuff. One should also recognize that feeling attacked is also bog standard ADHD response to facing criticism / the consequences of your actions. It's just another thing you need to learn to manage as an adult with ADHD, not an excuse to discontinue with the disrespectful behavior and delegating all responsibility for your feelings. Absolutely, that's getting an upvote from me. That was excellent. Yep, fellow ADHD crafty adult, I co-sign all of this. I try very, very hard at work and at home to not let my ADHD make things harder for those around me. Yeah. Also co-signing this, I might be responsible for the remote being in the fridge and can't find my phone while I'm literally talking on it to my mom. But I take extra care to pick up after myself and treat my husband's stuff with care because I love and respect him. Ah, man, the fridge is one of the few places I would never think to look for the remote. So yeah, I also agree. Not the asshole. Oh, how long have we been going? We've been going 37 minutes. 37 minutes. Okay. Wait, no, that's not what I want. Let's go back one. Okay. Am I the asshole for not opening the front door for my fiance? Yeah, I can buy that. That's my fiance. Just had to check the keyboard real quick. My partner and I, okay, so my partner is a dude, 27, and I'm a chick, 24, just got back home from having dinner at his parents' house. As we arrive on our street, we remembered that it's bin day tomorrow, as all the it's bin day tomorrow, as all the neighbors have put out their bins. We park the car, and my partner asks if I can open the back door for him when I go inside, so he could grab the bin from there and take it outside. I agree. So, wait, I'm sorry. I just spoke that and then didn't take any of it in. We park the car, and my partner asks if I could open the back door for him when I go inside so he can grab the bin from there and take it outside. I agree. Okay, yeah. I go inside, open the back door, he enters, then I go to the front door and lock it and use the loo, yeah, these are UK, by the front door. My partner then shouts to get my attention, not maliciously, if I can open the front door so he can come through it on the way back from doing the bins. I let him know I'm currently occupied and ask why he can't use the back door as I just opened it for him. He responds he doesn't want to do that and would rather use the front door. I remind him again that I am currently engaged and I will not be hurrying just to open a door when there's already one open. I hear him leave, and when he re-enters through the back door, he is dramatically banging his shoes together, throws his coat on the floor, and clearly annoyed that I didn't open the door. I know it's stupid, but I just gotta know, am I the asshole for not opening the door? You were literally in the bathroom. It's bad timing. This is bad timing. And to be fair, I think he was annoyed mostly by the fact that he stood on a slug on the way back. He just told me that that's what happened when he entered, so his actions may not be completely towards the door situation. So yeah, maybe you're overthinking it. Yeah, what are your ages again? 27, 24. You're 24. I mean, you might be overthinking it. Maybe. Let's see. I'm deleting Reddit. Mistake installing it in the first place. Right? We only have ourselves to blame. Sure. People be writing the dumbest things they fight about nowadays. OPV pooping. This is essentially what marriage is. Two assholes trying their best to not be assholes to each other.
Yeah. How dare you guys say this? Clearly, they need to divorce right away. Apologize? We don't recommend that here. Only divorce. Only divorce on Reddit. All right, let's go back. Let's see. See, pro. No, no. Would I be the asshole for telling my sister she can't have our bedroom during her honeymoon trip? Let's take a look. 17 hours ago. Okay. My husband and I live in a really pretty coastal town, the kind of place people book Airbnbs for anniversaries and honeymoons. We moved here a few years ago for his job, and honestly, we got really lucky with the location. My sister's getting married in a couple months, and she's been talking about doing a low key honeymoon since they're trying to save money. Last month, she asked if her and her fiance could stay with us for a week after the wedding instead of paying for a hotel. We said yes because they're family and we have a spare room with a futon. Well, yesterday she called and asked if they could actually stay in our bedroom instead. I feel like I've heard this story before. If they could stay in our bedroom instead. She said the futon isn't really ideal for a honeymoon and she wants them to be comfortable. She didn't say it directly, but I know what she's getting at. It's their honeymoon. They want a real bed for honeymoon stuff. I told her I'd think about it, but honestly, I already know I don't want to do it. That's my bed, where I sleep every night. And the idea of them using it for a week for that purpose just makes it. Is this a repost? This says it was posted 17 hours ago, but this sounds very familiar. I have seen this doing the rounds on Emma the Asshole before. I mentioned it to my mom. She immediately took my sister's side, saying it's just a bed and I should wash the sheets and get over it. She said I'm being weirdly precious about it and that I should want my sister to have a nice honeymoon. My husband says he supports whatever I decide, but I can tell he's nervous about the drama this might cause. Sister hasn't brought it up again yet, but I know she's waiting for an answer. Would I be the asshole to tell her no? Say they have to use the futon or find somewhere else. Like, really? Really? The responses are not. Mm, is this really a brand new one? You offered free accommodation in a honeymoon situation destination. Now you're the bad guy for not handing over your bed. Wild. Um, yeah, it's really she can sleep on a futon if you don't feel comfortable with her being in your bed. And that's really that. You can't force someone to give up their bed for you, and that's it. That's it. Period. Going back. Let's keep looking. We can get serious. We can get serious, y'all. R/MTF is sex work the only option at this point, but it's 18 plus. Oh no. Oh no, 18 plus. Mm. Or we can go to r/trans. I'm getting tired of young people confidently asserting that it is too late for them to transition. Let's go. We're doing it. Okay, r/trans. I'm getting tired of young people confidently asserting that it is too late for them to transition. You're 20, 23, 25 years old, just finished your first puberty, and you're announcing you're cooked? Do you know how privileged you are being able to transition that early? I know people who figured it out at 70 and they could still do it, and it was hard for them. 4chan doomer posting of I'm 19 years old, it's too late for me is exhausting, and to be honest, it kind of reads like a psyop. Yeah, yeah, period. True. Facts. Yep. No, 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 no. Automat. Okay. Kind of would like a trans sub for adults only at this point, lol. 18 plus, not sexually. Typing this from inside the womb. My mother is due in 8 months. Is it too late for me to transition? How cooked am I? Oh, translator. 30 plus trans sub. Interesting. Okay. That was just a little vent one. OnlyFans advice. Ooh, submissive. How about Am I the Asshole? Oh no. Not that one. Oh no. Hey, nobody's here to even see it. Nobody's here to even see it. If you were here, if you'd stuck around, you would have seen that there was spicy shit. Am I the asshole for reacting badly to my friend's religious remark at a funeral? Ooh, not the a-hole poo mode. Interesting. My friend, so I, 24, and friend, 25, and we're both women, came to the funeral for my mom, who died of cancer around Christmas time. She came over to me to grieve. Oh, she came over to me to give me her condolences and asked about the details of how my mom passed. I told her it was my mom's second battle with cancer. Now she had lots of complications. She said, I'm so glad nothing like that has ever happened to me or my family. We're blessed and highly favored. God doesn't play about us. This made me extremely angry. I said, glad to know your God plays about my family and all the other people in the world dying of cancer. I caused a scene and got really upset. She and her family said I'm wrong for attacking someone, just being kind and offering their condolences, and that's probably why God didn't look after my mom. Wow. Wow. I said I want them gone from the funeral. Since then, I haven't spoken to them or any of the people defending them. Am I the asshole? No. No. It is the fucking Bugs Bunny meme. No. No. Interesting. NTA, your ex-friend, is an asshole. If that was a condolence, what are their insults like? Shake my head. Probably something about seeing her mom again in hell. I'm so sorry for your loss, OP. You restrained yourself, in my opinion. I am so angry for you and your family right now. This friend has no idea what life has in store for her and hers. Karma is real. I have an idea. I have an idea. You want to look at some r/NoSleep? Uh-oh. No sound detected. No sound. Can you guys hear me? Oh, yeah. No. That's still coming through. That's going just fine. Okay. 1984 Cabbage Patch Baby. Cabbage Patch Baby. Man. Like, lots of people joined, but nobody said anything. Nobody stayed and said anything. That's interesting. Like, a lot of people have joined. Interesting. Well, I'm just trying something new. It's been almost an hour. 48 minutes. Ooh, you want I should play some of my music? Let me go to let me see. I can go to my videos. Let's go with yeah. You can hear that, huh? Turn that down a little bit. It's not quite so loud. Yeah, there we go. There's all the NoSleep. How about that? Well, my little video plays down here in the little corner. No. You just let that go. That's just gonna play. NoSleep. I'm gonna sort by. Go by top. Okay. From you/Fever Dream 9 hours ago. I found my mom's diary hidden behind the water heater. It says we died in a car wreck 4 months ago. I'm typing this with hands that don't feel like mine anymore. Every time I hit a key, I expect my fingernails to just pop off. I'm currently locked in the guest bathroom of my childhood home. It's the only room with a heavy brass deadbolt, and I can hear them shuffling outside. Leo, honey, the stew is getting a skin on it, my mom calls out. Her voice has this rhythmic, clicking quality to it now, like a beetle's wings. Don't you want to grow up big and strong? I need to get this out before my phone dies, or before they find the spare key. Please, if anyone's reading this, tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm having a psychotic break. But I found the diary, and the diary doesn't lie. I moved back home 6 months ago. My parents, Elena and Marcus, were the golden couple of our neighborhood. Mom was the type to drop off sourdough starters to neighbors. Dad was the high school football coach who still gave those rib-cracking bear hugs. Everything seemed perfect at first. But looking back, the signs were screaming at me. First, it was the house temperature. We live in Maine. It's November, but the furnace hasn't been on once. The house stays at constant, bone-chilling 41 degrees. Mom says the cold is good for the complexion. She walks around in these sheer floral sundresses, her skin looking like blue-veined marble. Then there's the sound. They don't walk anymore, they drag. A wet, heavy slap, hiss sound on the hardwood floors, and the humming. Mom hums this low, vibrating tune that seems to come from her chest, not her throat. And God, the flies. Great fat black bottles that cluster in the corners of the ceilings. Dad just sits in his recliner, watching static on the TV while they crawl across his lips. He doesn't even twitch. I was looking for a flashlight in the basement this morning when I saw a corner of leather sticking out from behind the old water heater. It was Mom's diary. The cover was damp, smelling of wet earth and copper. I'm going to transcribe the entries that broke me. August 14th. The brakes screamed. That's the last thing I heard before the oak tree split the car in half. I watched Marcus's head hit the dashboard. It sounded like a ripe melon dropping on concrete. My own legs were somewhere else. I felt the cold coming for us, but then he appeared, the man in the gray suit. He stood in the wreckage and whispered that a family shouldn't be torn apart. He gave us the soil. He said as long as we keep the vessels full of fresh life, we can stay. It tastes like old pennies and bile, but I can hold Marcus's hand again, even if his hand is a little loose at the wrist. Hey, thanks for liking. Thanks for stopping by. Just reading a little r/NoSleep. September 20th. Marcus's skin is starting to slip. I had to use the industrial staple gun on his lower back today to keep the suit from sagging. He laughed, but a puff of gray dust came out of his mouth. We need more than just squirrels and crows now. The man says we need vitality. We're waiting for Leo, our sweet Leo. He's coming home on Friday. He'll be the anchor. We just need to make sure he stays. October 31st, of course, Halloween. Leo noticed the smell. I told him it was the compost, but it was really the neighbor's golden retriever, Goldie, rotting in the crawl space. We couldn't use all of her at once. The marrow keeps our eyes clear. Marcus says he misses the feeling of a heartbeat. I told him to be patient. Once Leo joins us, we won't have to pretend to breathe anymore. It's so exhausting, the pretending. After reading that, I ran upstairs, my head spinning. I burst into the kitchen. Mom was standing at the counter, preparing dinner. "Mom," I gasped, "what happened in August?" "The car accident." She stopped humming. She didn't turn around, but her head tilted at a sickening 90-degree angle. I heard a loud crack of vertebra. "We don't talk about the accident, Leo. It's rude to dwell on the past." She turned then. A large piece of her cheek had simply sloughed off. It was hanging by a thin thread of gray sinew, swaying like a pendulum. Underneath there was no blood, just a hollow cavity packed with that dark, damp soil she mentioned in the diary. She reached into a pot on the stove, a pot of beef stew that had been simmering all day. She pulled out a handful of gray, dripping meat and offered it to me. "Eat, honey. You're looking so animated. It's distracting." I looked into the pot. Floating on the surface, among the grease and the foam, was a human ear. It had a small diamond stud in it, the same one our neighbor Mrs. Gable wore every day. I backed away, gagging, and ran right into my father. His bear hug wasn't warm. It was like being pressed against a bag of wet sand. As he squeezed me, I heard a squelching sound. A dark, viscous liquid, black as motor oil, began to leak from his pores, staining my shirt. "Don't run from your mother, Leo," he rumbled. His jaw didn't move quite right. It hung unhinged to the left side, swinging like a broken gate. "We've worked so hard to keep this family together. Do you know how much thread it takes to keep a man's torso attached to his hips?" I managed to shove him. His skin felt like wet, cold dough under my palms, and I bolted for the bathroom. I've been in here for 3 hours. The scratching on the door is getting louder. It's not nails anymore. It sounds like bone on wood. "Leo," Dad's voice is a wet rattle. "Open the door. The transition's easier if you don't fight it. The man is coming back tonight for the final stitching." I leaned over the sink to splash cold water on my face, trying to wake up from this nightmare. But then I looked in the mirror, truly looked. I remembered the car ride. August 14th. I was in the back seat. I remember the tree. I remember the smell of gasoline and the sight of my father's head folded like a piece of paper. I looked at my own throat in the mirror. There was a thin, jagged line running all the way around my neck. I picked at it with a trembling finger. And the skin didn't hurt. It just unzipped. Inside the wound, there wasn't a windpipe or veins. There was only a thick black twine, neatly stitching my head to my shoulders. And there, packed into the gap, was the same dark graveyard soil. I'm not the missing piece because I'm alive. I'm the missing piece because I'm the only one who hasn't realized he's rotting yet. The scratching stopped. "Leo," Mom whispers through the keyhole. "I can hear your stuffing falling out, dear. Come out and let Mommy fix you." I'm looking at the window. It's a long drop, but if I jump, will I even break? Or will I just burst apart like a dropped bag of groceries? I don't know what to do. What do I do? Do I jump or do I let her sew me back together? And there's an update. Oh my. That's before the update. That was some interesting story going on there. Okay, so everyone's dead and you're just now realizing it. Okay, interesting. All right, and then into the update. I'm losing my mind. My mom just slid a 6-inch upholstery needle under the door. It's dripping with that black, oily sludge, and she's whispering through the wood about how loose my neck looks. She says she just needs to tack me down so I don't wander off. The sound from the hallway has changed. Dad isn't using his hands to knock anymore. What? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm here. Okay, weird. Dropped bag of groceries is an interesting visual, right? Like, but I can visualize it because I have totally dropped a bag of groceries before. Oh my goodness. Sound from the hallway has changed. Dad isn't using his hands to knock anymore. It sounds like he's just swinging his head against the door. Every time he hits it, I hear a wet, squelching sound, like a bag of mud hitting a wall. Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm standing on the toilet now, reaching for the window latch. My hands are gray, and when I move my wrist, I can hear the dirt shifting inside like a sandbox. I'm going to jump. It's a 12-foot drop to the driveway. If I hit the pavement and I don't break, or if I don't bleed, I guess I'll have my answer. If my phone survives the fall, I'll update you. I don't know. That's the funny thing about NoSleep. Like you can really get some you can get some like freaky, scary stories, and then you can get a bag of groceries dropped on the sidewalk. Um, Zombies, but your body is packed with grave dirt. I mean, that's different. That is different. I'll give it to him. That I have not heard of zombies because you like pack the body with like grave dirt. That's like that feels like it's old school almost, but like it also feels new because I haven't heard it before. So I mean, like I don't know. Maybe that was a thing in like someone's Necronomicon. I don't know. So okay, M Night, time for bed. Man, you're dead. Just eat your stew. Is this how you imagined existing? So you got decapitated in the car crash? That's some real shit, dude. I'd say that's a very personal decision, bro. We, the living, cannot make it for you. First diary entry is my birthday. Is this a bad omen, chat? Oh man, I did like. Uh, I. How do I describe? In the beginning, like the writing of it was like very descriptive. Um, I don't know. I liked how it was written before, where it's just kind of like this is what's happening, and then here's like because this is like in media res, and then gives flashback to like where it was, but it's kind of like oh, this is why it was like weird, and this is happening, but like I did notice how the character was talking about it being, constant bone chilling 41 degrees, but then doesn't actually talk about complaining about it. It's just like, oh, now that I look back at it, like we were in Maine in November, but it's just cold. But not talking about like I'm shivering all the time. Like so that's a nice little note. So like it's not like this is garbage, like pure abject garbage, but like there's some things that it's like, oh, okay, you kind of like pushing a lot of things into here together. Like I don't know why you had to be eating people. when you're full of dirt. And I don't know where the black motor oil liquid comes from. The dirt. Uh, you've hinted at the man and stitches. It feels like there's a lot of stuff that could get trimmed. Because also, I mean, like it is one of those premise of like kind of like the others, where it's just like, oh, turns out you were part of the thing all along. You were dead all along, or whatever, kind of thing. But I mean, it can be done well. I don't know if it necessarily needed to be done here, but I guess that's kind of the thing where you're like, oh no, I found out that we died 4 months ago. So I guess that's kind of a core tenet. So I don't know if you could get rid of that, but let's see. This is a part 2. Stranded in a town where everyone seems obsessed with someone called Mr. Jangles. I don't know. I don't know if I could do the ones where they have a silly name, because I'm just like, Mr. Jangles, really? Come on. Just have to fire lookout for one night. Something try. Okay, see this feels like it could be creepy, because I've seen a playthrough of Firewatch, and totally been like, that might be something I would like to do at some point in my life, because every once in a while I think about being a hermit. Um, that's why I totally call my recording area the cave. I'm like, yes, I huddle in my cave, my nice area, but I'm still like interacting with the world. I'll click on this. Let's see this one. One comment, 2 awards, 7 hours ago. Let's try it. I wasn't supposed to be staffing the Outlook that week. It was a favor, a gap in the schedule. Can you just cover 2 nights until we get someone up there, kind of thing? I said yes, because I've been saying yes to the park in some form. I'm guessing you're saying in some form or another for most of my adult life. And because the tower makes sense to me. The routine, the lists, the way your world shrinks down to weather, visibility, and a radio that either works or it doesn't. The lookout was technically decommissioned, which sounds dramatic until you realize it just means the budget moved on. The stairs were still solid, the catwalk still intact, the windows still swept clean enough to see smoke. Radio still had power if you fed the generator and kept the battery topped off. It was the kind of place you could pretend was abandoned while still being maintained, because nobody wanted to be the person who admitted they'd let it rot. I got up there around late afternoon with a pack, a thermos, and a clipboard. Sun was low enough that it turned the treetops copper. From the cab, you could see the whole backside of the park, ridge lines folding into each other, cut by long shadows and a few pale scars where lightning fires had burned years ago. The tower creaked in the wind the way all towers do. Not dangerous creaking, just the sound of wood and metal remembering they're tall. Inside, everything smelled like dust, pine pitch, and old coffee. There was a laminated sheet tacked by the radios with 3 bullet points in bold. Do not request assistance over unmonitored frequencies. If you're lost, stay put. That's real stuff. If you're lost, stay put. Use emergency phones or 911. If you hear a voice directing you off trail, do not respond. Someone had underlined the last line twice, hard enough to emboss the plastic. I remember smirking at it when I first saw it, not because it was funny, but because it was such a weird thing to have to write down. It felt like superstition in a workplace that runs on checklists. I did my first call-in with dispatch, gave them my location, weather read, and the fact I had a clear view of the southern ridge. They logged it, told me to call again at 2100, and that was that. First few hours were quiet. I made coffee on a little camp stove. I filled out a logbook nobody reads unless something goes wrong. I watched the light fade. The forest below turned into one solid dark mass with only the service road cutting a faint line through it. The tower radio for the lookout was an old handheld unit plugged into a charging cradle by the window. Someone had wrapped the antenna base with a band of black electrical tape, and the casing had a crescent-shaped gouge on the bottom left corner, like it had been dropped on rock years ago, never repaired. Faceplate sticker was so sun-faded you could barely read it, but if you tilted it just right, you could make out the handwritten block letters, Lookout 3. Around 2030, the radio squelched and popped in a way that made my shoulders lift automatically. You don't ignore that sound, not out there. Lookout 3, dispatch, came the voice. Do you copy? I pressed the transmit. Copy, go ahead. There was a pause, then dispatch again. We got some weird traffic earlier, not on our main, just letting you know in case you hear it. Glanced at the laminated sheet by the radio. Define weird, I said. Dispatch sounded tired. Same operator I'd talked to 100 times, kind who can sound calm even when there's a crash on the highway and someone screaming in the background. Unmonitored channel, someone calling for ranger assistance, using the word lookout. My stomach tightened a little. Someone knows there's a tower up here. Yeah, dispatch said. Probably kids, or someone with an old radio. You're not to answer anything that isn't us. If you hear it, log it, that's all. I looked at the underlined line on the laminated sheet and felt my earlier smirk dry up. Copy, I said. I won't engage. I meant it. At 2100, called dispatch with my update. Wind had picked up, temperature dropping, visibility still good. Copy, dispatch said. You hear anything unusual, do not respond. Do not leave the tower. Ranger's already stretched thin. Copy, I repeated. I remember looking at the stairs after that, the trapdoor that led down, the way the tower's shadow cut across the catwalk in the moonlight. I remember thinking, for no logical reason, that it would be easy to step out and go down and check the perimeter just to prove to myself nothing was out there. I didn't do it. I locked the trapdoor like I always do in old structures because it keeps the wind from rattling it. I set my flashlight beside the logbook. I sat in the chair by the window and listened to the tower creak. 2217, the radio squelched again, but this time it wasn't dispatch. Not a call sign, not a proper prefix, just a soft click, then a voice, thin through static. Ranger? I froze with my coffee halfway to my mouth. I didn't touch the transmit button. The voice came again, a little clearer. Ranger, I need help. It sounded like a man trying to keep panic down, breathing too fast. Words clipped, the kind of voice you hear right before people do something stupid. I stared at the radio like it was going to bite me. The laminated sheet was right there in my peripheral vision. Underlined warning felt like it was aimed directly at me. Do not respond. I sat still. The voice on the unmonitored channel tried again. I'm on trail 6, I think. I'm lost. I can't find the pull-off ranger station. Do you copy? Trail 6 was on the backside. It wasn't the busiest trail, but it wasn't obscure. People wandered on it all the time, thinking it was easy. My thumb hovered over transmit, then stopped. Told myself I could call dispatch. That's the right move. Log it, let someone with authority decide if it's real. Picked up the handset for main dispatch channel. Before I could key it, the unmonitored channel voice came again, lower now. I can hear you up there, it said. Please. My throat went dry. You could hear the tower, the generator hum, the wind, but hear you up there made it feel like there was a line between us that wasn't radio at all. I keyed dispatch. Dispatch, lookout 3. Go ahead, said dispatch immediately, alert now. I'm receiving traffic on an unmonitored frequency. Caller claims lost on trail 6. Says he can hear me up here. There was a pause, then dispatch again, quieter. Do not engage. We'll send a unit to check trail 6 access points. Stay in the tower. Confirm you're secure. I'm secure, I said. Trapdoor locked. Copy, dispatch said. Do not leave. Do not respond. I set the handset down. On the unmonitored channel, the man's voice changed. It went flat for a second, like the emotion dropped out. Then it said in my own voice, Lookout 3, dispatch. I felt my stomach drop in a way I haven't felt since I was a kid and a car spun out on ice right in front of me. It wasn't a perfect recording quality. It was radio thin, but it was my cadence, my breath, tiny throat clear I do without thinking before I speak. The radio clicked again, and my own voice repeated, "Go ahead." I didn't move. I didn't even breathe right. The unmonitored channel just kept going like it was practicing. My location, weather read. It was pulling phrases out of context, stitching them together like a puppet. I grabbed the lookout radio and turned the volume down until the speaker was barely audible. Not off. I couldn't bring myself to turn it off. Off felt like it would be worse, like closing your eyes when you're sure something is still there. I wrote in the logbook with a shaking hand. 2217, unmonitored traffic, male voice, trail 6, mimicked my call sign and dispatch phrasing. I underlined mimicked twice, hard enough that the pen tore the paper. The tower creaked. Outside, the wind rose and fell. Then I heard something that wasn't radio at all. A knock. Not on the trap door. On the base of the tower, far below. One heavy knock, metal on wood. I stood so fast the chair scraped. I leaned toward the floor hatch, listening. Another knock. Then faintly, a voice from below carried up through the stairwell like someone standing at the bottom and shouting carefully, "Ranger!" My skin tightened. No one should have been down there. The access road is gated at night. There are signs, there are cameras, even if they're old. I moved to the window and looked down. The base of the tower was a black shape among darker trees. The moonlight didn't reach the ground well. I saw nothing. Then the voice came again, from directly below the tower, and it sounded like dispatch. "Lookout 3, come down, we need you." My mouth went numb. Dispatch would never tell me to leave the tower at night for a lost camper without sending a unit. Dispatch would never use that tone, like it was urgent and casual at the same time. I reached for the main dispatch handset. "Dispatch, Lookout 3, I said, forcing my voice steady. "Confirm you did not send anyone to Tower Base." Dispatch answered instantly, and there was something in the operator's voice I hadn't heard before. A tightness. "Negative," Dispatch said. "No units at your location. Stay in the tower. Do not open the hatch." As she spoke, the voice from below overlapped her. "Open the hatch." Same words, same rhythm, not through the radio speaker, through the stairs. It was like the tower itself was relaying it. I backed away from the trapdoor until my shoulders hit the opposite wall. Dispatch kept talking, faster now. "Listen to me. Do not respond to any voice that is not on this channel. Do not open the tower. Units are en route to the access road. Do you understand?" "I understand," I said, but my voice came out thin. Below, the knocking started again. Slow, patient, knock, pause, knock, like it knew I was counting. The unmonitored radio channel hissed in the background, even with the volume low, and through it I heard my own voice whispering, "Please." I don't know what did it. I've replayed the next part 100 times, and I still can't point to a single moment where my brain broke. It wasn't a sudden decision. It was like a series of tiny rationalizations stacking up until I couldn't see the drop-off anymore. Maybe someone really was down there. Maybe a hiker found the tower and was terrified. Maybe dispatch was wrong, and a unit had already made it to the base. Maybe if I just cracked the hatch and called down, I could clear it up. Maybe the laminated sheet was for something else. Maybe I was being dramatic. I hate myself for the thought even now, but there was another thing too. The voice from below sounded like my brother. My younger brother has been dead for 3 years. Car accident, wrong place, wrong time, drunk driver. I haven't heard his voice in a long time. Not cleanly, not without memory blurring it. From below the tower, through the stairwell, came his voice, small, like he was trying not to scare me. "Hey," it said, "it's cold." I felt my eyes sting. I stepped toward the hatch like a sleepwalker. Dispatch was still in my ear, but it sounded far away now, like a TV in another room. I unlocked the trapdoor. The second the lock turned, the knocking stopped. The silence that followed wasn't dramatic, it was just empty. I pulled the hatch up an inch, peered down into the stairwell. Blackness. A faint smell of damp wood and old rust. I didn't see anyone. I didn't hear breathing. Then from halfway down the stairs, the radio crackle sound happened again, but it wasn't coming from the lookout radio. It was coming from the stairwell itself, like static in the air, and my brother's voice said softly, "Come on." I opened the hatch fully. The cold air that came up was wrong. It wasn't just night air. It smelled sour, like wet fur and something metallic. I backed up, hand on my flashlight. Dispatch's voice sharpened. "Lookout 3, what are you doing? Confirm you are in the tower and the hatch is secured." I lied. "In the tower," I said. "Hatch secured." The words tasted like pennies. I don't know why I lied. Maybe because part of me already knew I was about to do something I couldn't explain. I grabbed my flashlight, stepped down into the stairwell. The tower groaned as my weight shifted onto the stairs. Each step down felt like stepping into thicker air. The darkness pressed in tight around the flashlight beam, making it feel small and weak. The metal railing was cold under my hand. Halfway down, the beam caught something on a step. A strip of reflective tape. Park trail marker tape. It was stuck to the metal like someone had pressed it there. I stopped. My heart hammered. That tape shouldn't have been inside the tower. Nobody comes up here and starts peeling markers off trees to decorate. The voice from below didn't rush me. It just said, "Patient. Almost there." I kept going. At the bottom, the tower's base platform was open to the air. From there, you could step onto the ground, onto packed dirt and needles. The flashlight beams swept across the base supports, the old maintenance box, the little post where the fire extinguisher used to hang. No person, no ranger truck, no fresh footprints. I stood at the base of the tower and felt the night press in from all sides. "Ranger?" I called, and my voice sounded too loud. Nothing answered. Then the lookout radio, still up in the cab, crackled faintly through the structure, and in my own voice it said, "Here." The word came from the trees to my left, too, at the exact same time. "Here." Like two speakers playing the same track. My stomach dropped hard enough I almost gagged. I backed towards the tower stairs. Flashlight beam caught movement between two trunks. Not a full shape, just a shift. Something tall, adjusting its weight. I swung the light fully and saw it. It was upright, but it wasn't standing like a man. It looked assembled wrong. Too thin, too long, arms hanging too low with too many joints. The head was not antlers, not a clean skull like you see in cheap horror. It was like skin pulled tight over something sharp. Ridges under the surface. A mouth that didn't sit right on the face. Stretched farther than it should be. The worst part was the eyes. Not glowing, not bright. Dull, wet reflections in the flashlight beam like stones at the bottom of a creek. It didn't charge. It stepped forward once, quiet and confident, closing distance in a way my brain couldn't map properly. I turned and ran. I hit the stairs and took them two at a time, boots clanging on metal. My hands shook so hard I nearly missed the railing. Behind me, something moved through brush without crashing. It sounded like it knew exactly where to place its weight. I got 5 steps up before a sound like a dry throat clicking came from right below the tower, closer than it should have been. I looked down without meaning to. It was on the first landing already, climbing without haste, long limbs folding wrong. My flashlight beam caught its hands on the rail. Hands looked like bundled sticks, fingers too long, too many joints, gripping like clamps. I bolted up again, lungs burning. The tower creaked in protest, like it hated being part of this. I hit the trapdoor platform, shoved the hatch up, scrambling through. My shoulders slammed the frame. Pain shot down my arm, but I didn't care. I got on one knee into the cab and reached back to slam the hatch, and something caught me. Not a grip, a swipe. A fast, cold rake across my back, through my shirt, like dragging a handful of bent nails from shoulder blade to ribs. The pain didn't even register right away. It was heat and shock and a breath that turned into a noise I didn't recognize as mine. I fell forward into the cab, slammed my palms onto the floor, and kicked back hard. The hatch dropped, wood thudded into place. Then the burning hit full force. I scrambled upright and fumbled for the lock. It didn't align. My hands were shaking too much. Below me the hatch bumped once, gently, as if something had tested it. Then again. I shoved my weight onto it and finally got the lock to catch with a metallic click. I pressed my back against the far wall of the cab and felt wetness spreading under my shirt. The scratches stung with every breath, each inhale pulling at torn fabric and skin like the injury wanted to remind me it was there. Dispatch was still on my actual channel, voice edged with panic now. "Lookout 3, respond. Respond now." Under my feet, another voice repeated her exact words a half second later, using her tone so well it made my teeth ache. I forced myself to key dispatch. "It's at the tower," I said, voices coming out in ragged pieces. "It mimics. It got into the stairwell." My voice hitched when my back spasmed. Dispatch didn't waste time asking what it was. "Stay away from the hatch. Barricade if you can. Units are 2 minutes out." The hatch bumped again, harder. A sound like claws or nails dragging along the wood. My stomach rolled. My back was on fire. I could taste copper at the back of my throat from biting down too hard. I grabbed the heavy chair and shoved it over the hatch. Then I grabbed the small table and jammed it against the chair. The tower shook slightly, and for the first time I realized the thing wasn't just testing the hatch. It was putting weight on the tower, like it was climbing the supports. The windows rattled. The catwalk outside the cab gave a soft metallic ping as something stepped onto it. The flashlight beam caught a shadow pass over the window. Tall. Too thin. I backed away until I hit the far wall of the cab, my back screaming, and I nearly blacked out from the sudden flare of pain. The radio shrieked with static, not dispatch, the other channel. And then in my own voice, right in the speaker by my ear, it said softly, "Come down." The window behind me thudded once, like something tapped it with a knuckle. Then again, harder. I saw the outline press against the glass for a split second. Not a face, not a clear, not clear, just a suggestion of that stretched mouth and ridged head. The glass bowed. It didn't break, but it flexed enough to make me realize how old it was, how many winters it had seen, how many times it had been heated and cooled and stressed. The thing outside didn't rush. It didn't slam wildly. It tapped, then waited, then tapped again, like it knew time was on its side. Dispatch was still talking, telling me to hold, to stay put, that headlights were on the access road, that they were almost there. I believed her. And then the voice on the other side of the glass said, and my brother's voice again, small and cold, "I'm scared." That almost got me. I won't lie. My hand moved toward the hatch without permission, a reflex built from a lifetime of responding to voices asking for help. I stopped myself by biting down on the inside of my cheek until I tasted blood. The tapping on the window stopped. For a few seconds, the tower was still except for my breathing and the faint crackle of radios and the slow drip of something warm down my side under my shirt. Then something scraped across the roof. Slow, like fingernails being dragged along metal. The sound traveled from one end of the roof to the other, then stopped above my head. I looked up, without meaning to. The ceiling was thin paneling, if something heavy sat on it. The whole cab would feel it. The tower creaked, a deep groan like it was taking a breath, and then the hatch behind my barricade bumped from below again. Two directions. It was on the roof and under the floor, or it wanted me to think it was. Then headlights washed the trees below in white beams, sweeping back and forth. A ranger truck. Another. Radios on the dispatch channel erupted with voices, call signs, orders, real human urgency. The scraping on the roof stopped immediately. The tapping stopped. The pressure under the hatch eased. For one shaky breath, I thought it was over, that it would retreat when there were more people. Then, over the unmonitored channel, in dispatch's exact voice, came a calm instruction. Units, proceed off-road. Follow the voice. I heard a ranger on the main channel hesitate. Dispatch, confirm. Dispatch snapped, real and sharp. Negative, stay on the road, do not go off-road, do not follow any voice. And then, like it was enjoying itself, the unmonitored channel repeated her denial in her voice, but with a tiny twist, like a smile hidden in it. Proceed. Below, one of the trucks turned its lights toward the tree line, and for a brief second, I saw the shape at the edge of the beams. Tall, too thin, half hidden, like it didn't want to be fully seen. Then it stepped back into the woods, and the darkness swallowed it. The rangers stayed on the road. They didn't chase. They didn't play hero. They swept the area, found nothing, told me to stay in the cab until morning. When daylight came, they walked me down the tower with two people on either side like I was the fragile one. Halfway down, my shirt had dried stiff against my back. Every step made the scratches flare again like the air itself was cutting me. At the base, one of the rangers asked, "You hit something?" I shook my head once because I didn't know how to answer without sounding like a lunatic. At the park office later, I tried to explain what happened in a way that didn't make me sound like I'd lost my mind in the dark. I talked about radio interference, about prank calls, about an animal under the tower. The older clerk behind the counter didn't laugh. She slid a binder toward me, opened to a page that looked like it'd been read too many times. Incident reports, dates, channels, notes about mimicry, and unmonitored frequencies. At the bottom of the page was a line underlined twice. If it uses your voice, it already has you. They sent me to urgent care in town anyway, the way they do when paperwork starts to smell like liability. The nurse didn't ask many questions. She just had me turn around, lifted my shirt carefully, and went quiet for a second. "You got lucky," she said. They cleaned the scratches, bandaged them in long strips, told me to watch for infection. The back of my shirt went into a plastic bag like evidence. I drove home with my shoulders tight, trying not to move too much because every shift tugged at the raw lines under the cause. I quit volunteering the next week. Not out of fear of the woods in general. I can walk a trail in daylight and enjoy it like anyone. I quit because I learned something I can't unlearn. There are rules out there that aren't about bears or weather or dehydration. There are rules about what happens when you ask for help the wrong way, on the wrong channel, in the wrong place. And there's one more detail I haven't told anyone in the park system because I don't want to see the look on their faces. Sometime after midnight, a couple nights later, I finally fell asleep in my own bed. Woke up at 2:17 a.m. exactly. Not the slow drift up from a dream, the kind where your eyes open and your body's already tight like it heard something before your brain caught up. My back ached under the bandages. I could feel the scabbed lines pulling every time I breathed too deep. The apartment was quiet. No cars, no neighbors. Heater clicked once, stopped. And then I heard it. Not from outside, from inside the room. A soft burst of static, like a speaker waking up. A click. My throat closed. I sat up so fast the sheet tangled around my legs. The sound came again, clearer now, static, then a tiny controlled squelch, like someone had keyed a mic and let go. It wasn't my phone. My phone was on the dresser, dark and charging. I swung my bedside lamp on. The lamp filled the room, bright and normal, and for half a second my brain tried to calm down, tried to tell me it was nothing. Then I saw the green glow, a faint, sick little rectangle of light coming from the crack under my bedroom door. My heart started banging hard enough to make my vision pulse. I got out of bed and limped to the door, barefoot, quiet, holding my breath like it mattered. I opened it. The hallway was lit only by the kitchen nightlight. The glow on the floor wasn't from that. It was coming from my living room. I stepped out and followed it, slow, like approaching a trap you can already see. On my coffee table, centered like someone had placed it carefully, was the tower radio from the lookout. I knew it instantly, not because of the model, because I could see the black electrical tape wrapped around the antenna base and that crescent-shaped gouge on the bottom left corner of the casing, the one I'd noticed because it made the radio sit crooked in its cradle up in the cab. The faceplate sticker was still sun-faded, but in the lamplight I could make out the handwritten block letters if I leaned close enough. Lookout 3. And taped to the side of it, pressed flat, neat as a label, was a strip of reflective trail marker tape. I didn't touch it. I just stood there, staring at the radio like it was a live animal. The speaker crackled again. Click. Then my own voice came out of it, patient and calm, the way I sound when I'm trying to keep somebody else from panicking. Lookout 3, do you copy? I backed up until my shoulders hit the wall, and the movement tugged at my bandages hard enough to make me hiss. The radio clicked again, and this time it didn't use my voice. It used dispatch. Sharp, official, convincing. Confirm you are secure. I stood there in my hallway, barefoot, shaking, staring at a radio that didn't belong in my apartment, and I realized something that made my stomach turn cold. It wasn't just copying voices. It wasn't just playing with the frequency. It knew where the tower was. It knew where I lived. And it knew exactly what words would make me answer. I didn't answer. I didn't even breathe right. I walked backward into my bedroom and shut the door and locked it like that meant anything. The radio kept talking out in my living room, voice changing every few seconds. Mine, dispatch, my brother, cycling through the ones that worked best. I stayed in my room until sunrise, listening to it through the wall like you listen to an intruder moving around your house. At 6:41 a.m., it went quiet. No static, no click, just silence. When I finally opened my door, the radio was gone. No mark on the table, no tape, no dust disturbed, no sign it had ever even been there, except for one thing. On the hardwood in front of my coffee table, right where the green glow had pooled, was a single strip of reflective tape pressed flat to the floor like a breadcrumb, pointing toward my front door. And that is the end. Wow, that was a lot longer than I ever thought it was going to be, but like that was pretty decent. That was pretty decent for some Reddit scary story. Some no sleep. That was better than the dirt zombies with the like really good. I feel like this person has done their reading with Strunk and knows how to trim the fat a lot of the time. The sentences aren't overly wordy. It's like it gets to the point. This is what it is. This is what's happening. I like it though. Like this is this. I'm gonna where's oh right. I was just at the bottom. I want to give it an upvote because I liked it. I wow yeah. It's really long. It's really long though. Uh, I'm glad I made this. I zoomed in on this because it would just be like so tiny and hard to see. Even I imagine it's still kind of small looking at it on whatever device you're looking at, but like it's huge on my screen in front of me. Come on, really? Do I need to just? Can you? My goodness. Yeah, this is long. Yep, and then it does this. Okay, get an upvote from me. There we go. All right, some of the responses. Penty, this scared me, and that's the only response in here. Okay, I think that was also why I chose it. They didn't have a lot of. All right, well, I have been streaming for longer than I expected to, but thank you for stopping by and listening to me read off a story from Reddit No Sleep. Um, I'm gonna try and do more Reddit stories. Maybe I should just stick with doing No Sleep, because obviously it's got there's stories happening that aren't necessarily am I the asshole, but uh, what I was doing was just going to my home and being like, all right, what's on here? I read some am I the asshole? So anyway, I'm feeling tired. It's pretty much my bedtime. 9 o'clock is my bedtime. That's just because I get up really early. So, but this was fun. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Um, appreciate all the tippy taps. Uh, was the audio fine? Like I this was normally I use the gamer headset with the microphone and everything, but this time I got the lapel mic sitting right here the whole time. So I mean, you didn't make any note of like, oh, it's too quiet or anything, but like just want to make sure it's not really good. He's using this doze off. All right. Well, I hope you have a good night. Um, and stop by again. I'm trying to do the Reddit stuff Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So right around this time. Um, really trying to just keep it to an hour, but I was also late getting to it. I was setting up a new camera and setting this whole thing up because it's different from the gaming. But yeah, again, thanks for stopping by. Uh, one dedicated viewer can be the start of something big. Hold on just a bit longer. Oh, that's so funny. It's so funny the way that TikTok has things pop up right when you're gonna end.